Today is December 16th, 2020. My dad was born on December 16th, 1970, which means today my dad turns 50 years old. Tomorrow is my dad's birthday, his 50th birthday, so we decided to put up a sign in our yard. I don't think you can see it. I'm just gonna take a picture of it. Flashlight. Happy 50th, Dale. It's pretty cool. I get a better shot of it in the morning. My mom and I had to distract my dad during the hours of 8:30 to 9:30 because that's when they set this up last night. I was pretty nervous about it. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. I distracted enough to come down in the basement. Then we just thank God we just got talking, and then we just kind of all congregated down there, and then we talked till like 10:30. So that was a great distraction tool, and it allowed for the perfect surprise in the morning. Were you surprised?
Yeah, on this one.
Yeah.
When did you see it?
This morning when I got up.
When you went to get his Starbucks coffee.
What time was that? How did you see it? It was dark.
I was sitting right there in my office. I turned the lights on and I saw all that stuff sitting up there. I thought, what the heck?
But anyway, in honor of my dad's birthday today, I thought I would share two stories. Both of these stories took place on our trip we took this summer. We went to Breckenridge, Colorado this summer. Okay, so today is July 9th. Just packed up all my gear. We're leaving tomorrow for Breckenridge, Colorado. The trip was a really good break from the intensity back here, and good to just get away for a little bit for the first time in a while. The second day we planned to go on a pretty big hike. Today is day 2. We arrived at the destination and there was this big parking lot. It was full of cars and we were so confused. We thought we had gotten there late, stuff like that. We pull in and we're like, well, do we have to park down here? Because the trailhead was actually like a mile and a half more up the road, which means we were gonna have to walk that mile and a half and also walk it back. We were a little confused, so we just parked in the parking lot because we feared that the road all the way up to the trail had all cars parked. We're gonna have to park down here and just walk. And sure enough, we got off, we started walking. Alright, well, we had a little situation there. I don't even know how to describe it. People were starting to question our thought, like, was this a good idea? Because the cars started to dwindle, and I think, if I remember right, the cars were just mostly gone. And then we asked some people that knew about the trail, and they were like you can go up there. Like, all those cars had been parked for a different trailhead. We were like, crap, because we didn't want to end up having to walk back because it was already going to be a hard enough walk, so we didn't want to have to walk all the way back. So my dad did a great thing and ran all the way back to the car, drove it back up. We took the car the rest of the way up to the correct trailhead. We got here, there was a whole bunch of cars, and we didn't think we could pass through, and we actually needed to get back on the road to drive 2 more miles up this road, which is actually oh, there he is! Perfect timing! Woo! Okay, we made it, we survived. He must have booked it. That's the one thing I've always respected about my dad, especially at 50 years old, is being able to make sacrifices, small sacrifices, stuff like that on a daily basis. For us to enjoy and experience more than we may have not if he didn't make that sacrifice. second story was also on that trip, and it was the moment I realized, you know, I always feel like my parents are just another version of me and my sister, you know, young, athletic, can do, are willing to take risks, you know, on these adventures, if you will. But this trip made me realize that my parents are starting to kind of take a step back away from that, and this story kind of emphasizes that. So we planned to go on the second hike. I don't know, it was later in the vacation. All right, well, here we go. It's an early morning. Not a lot of us seem motivated, but hopefully getting up will be worth it. And it started out great. It was one of the most peaceful mornings we had on the entire trip. Nice, cool, breezy. According to the amount of miles we had to go, we were pretty close to our destination, but we knew at the very end there was a big incline. We didn't know what that incline looked like. But we started to get an idea of it, and when we got to the base of this hill, and we didn't see the lake. And I was like, I'm pretty sure the lake's on top of that hill.
We got a lot of switchbacks, as you can see, people climbing up. Gotta climb all the way up this hill.
And sure enough it was, and we started doing zigzags back and forth. And I mean, I wasn't phased. Me and my sister were just like, woo, 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 woo. You know, let's get to the top, let's get to the top. Meanwhile, my mom was okay, but my dad was back there just freaking out, you know. He kept saying his legs were shaking, you know, he was nervous, blah, blah, blah. And he ended up stopping on the side of the mountain and just sitting there and letting me and my sister and my mom go to the very top, in which we did, which the last stretch was even more sketchy than what anything my dad had done. And then we got to the top.
Well, we made it. There's only 3 of us, though.
Woo!
It was beautiful or whatever, but told our dad about the experience or whatever, and told him he didn't miss out that much. You know, I share those 2 stories because I think they're both things that make me realize how my parents are changing and how my dad's changing, if you will. You know, the same old self is still there, you know, still makes sacrifices for me and my sister, still is always there for me and my sister in the moments when we need them. But they're also getting old, and as a result, they can't always do everything with us, and we have to kind of become more independent people and, you know, detach from that sometimes, but they're willing to let us do that. I think that vacation really summarizes kind of how our family dynamic is changing, you know. We all still respect each other, we all still love each other. Things are changing, and that's just how life is. I'm looking at this picture of me and my dad. That was back when my dad was more, you know, young and athletic, if you will. Back in his prime, back when he was like 38. I didn't get my dad a card or really anything. I was hoping that this video and our sign we got was good enough. So anyway, this is my gift to you, Dad. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this video. And happy birthday.